Raising your vibration does not have to be difficult. In fact, it's quite simple. Working with yourself instead of against yourself is the fastest and easiest way for you to raise your vibration and stay in a high vibrational state, even if you know nothing about the law of attraction or how thoughts and feelings become things. This is something anybody can do at any age, at any time, in any situation. So stay tuned, because I am going to share with you my personal experience in learning how to work with myself and how you can get started today as well. The first thing that I had to do was I had to be honest with myself. I had to be honest and not judgmental. How was I treating myself? How was I treating myself on a regular day, on a regular basis? How was I treating myself when I was having a great day? And how was I treating myself when I was having a bad day? Now, it was a little bit a hard pill to swallow, but it wasn't much of a surprise that I wasn't treating myself very nicely. I was pessimistic. I was putting myself down. I was assuming the worst. I was focusing on the things that I did wrong and not the things that I did right. So I had to be really honest with myself about that. And I had to be willing to do something different. Now, the first thing I did was I stood in front of the mirror and I looked at myself in the eyes and I gave myself a heartfelt apology for not being a good partner, for not being a good friend, for being one of the obstacles that I had to get to overcome in order to get where I was. And I really meant the apology that I gave myself. And I promised myself that I was going to do better, that I was now going to be a better partner, and I was going to work towards that, and I was going to be helpful and not hurtful. Now, the other thing you need to know about working with yourself is you need to know yourself. You need to know your quirks. You need to know your preferences, your likes, your dislikes, and you need to be willing to work with them. Are you a morning person or a night person? For me, I'm so much better in the morning. I'm functioning at a high level in the morning. And as the day goes on, my creativity level, my thinking power, it wanes. And I have to not expect myself to be doing a lot of tasks that require a lot of thinking and creativity work at night, because I get very tired. I tend to wake up very early. So in the evening, I'm winding down and I'm ready for bed right after dinner, basically. And I know that about myself. So you need to learn about yourself. What motivates you? Do you work on a project as soon as you learn about it, or does a deadline get you moving? Okay, I work better under a deadline. I have to work with that and stop trying to change who I am, but work with who I am and use that to my advantage, instead of making that a reason why I can't be this, or I can't be that, or I can't be successful. And the other thing I had to remember is that there's actually 0 side effects to being nice to myself, to liking myself more, to being kind to myself, to building my own self-esteem. There's absolutely 0 side effects. And what I found out is that not only was I feeling better about myself and feeling better about my life, but it was also helping me become more aligned and with my spiritual side and my emotional side. So it was really all win, 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 win all across the board. Now, after I apologized to myself, I learned about myself, and I was really honest at where I was. I had to start working with my own quirks and my own preferences. And I had to really understand and redefine self-care, because now self-care doesn't mean, and it never really did for me, like nails and massages or long showers and baths, but more so something more internal than external. I had to stop. It wasn't so much as a physical rejuvenation, but an emotional and a mental rejuvenation. I had to take time to do the maintenance and the cleaning of my thoughts and emotions, instead of dragging along outdated thoughts and ideas that aren't serving me as well, or serving me at all. Now, it wasn't really hard to do these things. I just had to be willing to stop being mean to myself, stop beating myself up, stop being the pessimistic one in the group. It's me, myself, through our whole life, and I decided it was time to team up. If I was going to be stuck with myself for my entire life, it was time that I became a great partner. If I wasn't willing to say it to my best friend or my kids or somebody even a stranger on the street, I wasn't going to start saying it to myself. I started, the love songs that I would sing to on the radio or sing at home with my instruments, I started dedicating to myself. I started complimenting myself in the mirror, smiling at myself in the mirror, saying good job to myself. I decided that I was going to make a list of things that I was proud of before I went to bed, and decided I was going to give myself a morning routine that set me up for success. Now, what do you need to do in order to work for yourself? To work with yourself? That is a very personal journey. You have to figure that out for yourself. Where are you not nice? Where could you be better? When and where do you leave yourself hanging? And how can you improve? Now, if you want help figuring out how you can be a better partner to yourself, how you can start working with yourself instead of against yourself, then go ahead and book a private coaching session with me. You can do that by sending a message to inspiredactionscoaching@gmail.com. You can find that link in the description or in the pinned comments. And if you want to do something a little bit more long-term and take this work even farther, I do offer longer private and group coaching packages if that's something you're interested in. But if you're ready to dive in even farther, I need you to know that being a great partner and working with yourself is only 1/3 of the equation. Although it's going to get you the most bang for your emotional buck, it still is only part of the equation if you want maximum results. So if you want to learn the other two components of this formula, then I'm going to link a video down below where I lay it all out for you. Thank you so much for spending your time with me today. I know how precious it is, and I do not take it for granted. So go out there and be nicer to yourself today and see what kind of results you get. But I want to know, how do you show up for yourself? What tips and tricks do you have that I could learn from, or the rest of us could? Drop those down in the comments, along with any questions that you want me to address, either in the comments or in a future video. Until then, be nice to yourself. Bye.